What's up, everybody? We're back for another week of great comic books. You have to forgive me for being absent. I missed a week, and I am late this week. But life has all types of little bumps in it, and I was getting some personal matters together, and also this week celebrating my 23rd wedding anniversary. So I was going to talk about some good reads and stuff like that, but since we are running late, I'm just going to bump this video out and run through these books real quick. But of course, everybody is reading Powers of 10 and House of X. And of course, I have to give a wonderful shout out to one of the best books personally on the market, Batman Curse of the White Knight. So with that, we're gonna jump into these books super quick. And once again, pardon me for my tardiness. For DC Comics, we're gonna start off with Batman 76 by Tom King and Tony Daniel. Tony Daniel is doing cover A, and Gabriel Dell'Otto is doing cover B. And this is the second part of The City of Bane. Deceased number 4 by Tom Taylor and Trevor Harsner. Cover A is being done by Adam Kubert. Cover B is by Tesai MS. And C is by Francesco Mattina. Green Lantern number 10 by Grant Morrison and Liam Sharp. Liam Sharp is doing cover A, and Kerry Andrews is doing cover B. Justice League 29. This continues on with the Apex Luthor, etc., by James Tynion and Javier Fernandez. And cover A is by Francis Manipool, and cover B is by Terry Dodson. Lois Lane number 2 by Greg Rucka and Mike Perkins. Perkins is doing cover A, and we have a wonderful Yasmin Putri cover for cover B. Next up, we have Image Comics. First book out, we have a number 1, Coffin Bound by Dan Waters and Danny. So it's an Image first, so might as well jump on it, right? Die is back, and this book is on fire. Being, the cover A is pretty much sold out everywhere. You still may be able to get it at Midtown Comics. Die number 6 by Kieran Gillen and Stephanie Hans. Hans is doing cover A, and Peach Momoko is doing cover B. We have Sea of Stars number 2 by Jason Aaron and Stephen Green, with one cover for that by Green. Section 0 number 5 by Carl Kessel and Tom Grummett. Tom Grummett is doing cover A, and Jose Luis Garcia Lopez, Wonder Woman fame, is doing cover B. Space Bandits number 2 by Mark Millar and Matteo Scalera. Scalera is doing cover A, and they have a black and white version of that for cover B. Jose Luis Garcia Lopez is doing cover C, and Scotty Young is doing cover D. Thumbs number 3 by Sean Lewis and Hayden Sherman. Really good read. Weird book. And it has a plastic cardstock cover, which is really cool. And also this week we have some Image first books coming out, which are reprints of, it's like the Marvel books that come out or whatever, the must-haves by Marvel or whatever. I forget what they're called. But Corpora is coming out, number 1. Criminal, number 1. Gideon Falls, number 1. The Ice Cream Man, number 1. Isola, number 1. Oblivion Song, number 1. Trees, and also Unnatural, number 1. And all those, I believe, these books should be $1 or some such like that. Next up, we have Marvel Comics. Big book for this week, Absolute Carnage number 1 by the infamous Donny Cates and Ryan Stigman. And there are, 36 covers for this book? But I got a few. Ryan Stigman, of course, is doing cover A. I got a Hidden Gem variant by Mark Bagley. Bradshaw is doing an incentive cover. We have another Mark Bagley cover, which is the Skyline cover. Of course, we have the action figure cover, which is super dope, and an Art Germ cover, and a 1 in 25 Gabriel Delato cover, which is not that pricey. And Venom is looking quite glorious in his atrociousness on that cover. So it's supposed to be a big book. There will be 1 million of them, so there should be plenty enough for everybody to go around. Black Cat number 3 by Jed McKay and Travel Foreman. Cover A is by J. Scott Campbell. Cover B is by In-Huk Lee, and that is a Bring on the Villains variant. Jen Bartel has an incentive cover, which I believe may be a 1 in 25, and Frank Cho has a 1 in 50 incentive cover. Champions number 8 by Jim Zub and Steve Cummings. Kind of fell off that book, so that is that. Another hot book from Marvel, excellent read, Daredevil number 9 by Chip Zdarsky and Layat Kumar Sharma, which I believe his run will end on this book. And Marco Cicchetto will be back drawing the book by issue 10, I hope. And cover A is by Julian Tedesco, and cover B is by Dave Johnson, and that is a Bring on the Villains cover with Bullseye on it. The Future Foundation is back with a number 1 by Jeremy Whitley and Will Robson. Carlos Pacheco is doing cover A. We have an action figure cover for cover B, and Nick Bradshaw is doing cover C. The House of X continues with issue number 2 by Jonathan Hickman and Pepe Larraz. Larraz is doing cover A. Yasmin Putri has a gorgeous connecting cover for us. Cover C is an action figure cover. Alan Davis is doing the Characters Through the Decades cover with Jean Grey. Scotty Young is doing cover E, and Mike Huddleston is doing cover F. A bit much, but most of the covers are pretty dope. Immortal Hulk 22, 3 more issues until this book is finished, by Al Ewing and Joe Bennett. Alex Ross is doing cover A, and Ryan Brown is doing the Bring on the Villains cover with the Abomination. Savage Avengers number 4 by Jerry Dugan and Mike Deodato Jr. Cover A is by Dave Finch, and cover B is by Gerardo Zaffino. Last for Marvel is Star Wars number 70 by Greg Pak and Phil Noto. Phil Noto is doing cover A, and Walter Simonson gives us our greatest moments for cover B. As for our indie books are concerned, I believe it's from Dark Horse. We have Berserker Unbound, which is a limited series by Mike Deodato Jr. I forgot who's, I think Cullen Bunn is writing it. And Mike Deodato Jr. is doing cover A, and Mike Mignola is doing cover B. Guilty Pleasure of Mine, Buffy the Vampire Slayer number 7 by Jordi Bellar and David Lopez. Cover A is by Mark Espinal, and cover B is by Sonia Leo. Fallen World number 4 by Dan Abnett and Adam Polina, and I only showing one cover, and that is by Ben Harvey. Last of our independent books, I have Ronin Island number 5 by Greg Pak and Giannis Milangolius. Yeah, that's the best you're going to get. Milangolius is doing cover A. Cover B is by Chris Anka. And cover C is by Ethan Young. Truly, I did not have this prepared for my covers of the week, but I'm definitely going to pick the connecting cover for House of X number 2 by Yasmin Putri, and the Alan Davis Decades cover also for that book. The Art Germ cover and the Delato cover for Absolute Carnage #1. And I like that die cover, #6, cover A, by Stephanie Hans. And I guess the book of the week will be House of X #2 by Jonathan Hickman and Pepe Larraz. I hope you guys are able to get all the books that you desire. It is a super heavy week for variants and just a few #1s coming out. And I will catch you at the same bad time and at the same bad channel. Peace.